Hello again. Well, this is May the 8th. And May the 8th, 2014, we're waiting patiently to hear what the Circuit Court in D.C., the Appeals Court in D.C., rules with respect to the Affordable Care Act. They're supposedly listening to arguments. And the arguments is whether or not Obamacare was introduced legally, according to the Constitution. I'm convinced that it never was, and hopefully that they'll agree. And if they agree, Obamacare is finished. And if they don't agree, then what do we know? Well, we know they've been compromised, because the Constitution is very clear. All taxation has to originate in the House of Representatives. We also know that Justice Roberts of the Supreme Court, he said that it is a tax, and because it's a tax, it stays. Well, you can't have it both ways. What Justice Roberts should have done is he should have said, although it's a tax, it did not originate in the House of Representatives. Therefore, it cannot stay. That's what he should have said. It shouldn't have been up to the D.C. courts to hopefully say that. And once again, if they don't, then they've obviously been compromised. Because all you have to do is look at the Constitution. It's absolutely clear. Taxation must originate in the House of Representatives. You know, and I said this in a couple of other videos as well. I don't understand why the Speaker, Boehner, didn't sort of raise his hand and say, hey, wait a minute, folks. We never submitted that. What we submitted was a tax credit for military housing. But they never brought that up. Nobody did. So what does that tell you? You know what it tells me? It tells me that they're all in it. They've all been compromised. God, I hope I'm wrong. But what other conclusion can you come to? If the initial bill was sent from the House of Representatives, and if that initial bill was what it was, which is a tax credit for military housing, and then comes back as Obamacare, remember how the government fought against it being a tax? Because they knew that taxation has to originate in the House, and this didn't. You see how we're getting screwed, folks? You see how this country got screwed out of $1 trillion+ by this jackass who's playing president, and by this criminal who's heading up the Senate. He needs to be arrested. He needs to be imprisoned, not only for what he did here with Obamacare, but for what he did with funds that were campaign funds that he funneled to his granddaughter. Not once, twice that we know of, but how many times that we don't know of. He's a crook, and he needs to be punished. The problem is, who's going to punish him? The Attorney General Eric H. Holder? Who? There is no one. That's what's sad. Well, let's see what the court does. Let's see if they're honorable people. Let's see if they uphold their oath to protect all citizens from both foreign and domestic enemies. We should hear about that within a few hours. If and when I do, I'll be certain to post another video as to the outcome.